Here's like the real secret thing is if you have results that are within scoring distance, you should consider that a home run. Meaning,
what
like,
is scoring distance?
Scoring distance means that I need to be at a 1.3 return on ad spend to completely break even.
If somebody was to start a business, or if you were to start in, say, a different, like, let's say you decided to go after chiropractors, would you use direct mail or would you do something else this time?
Yeah, great question. So if I was in a market like that, I think the first thing I would do is, I'll tell you from recent results. Like we just tested some ads in the dental space again. There's something that I think would be super, super successful for the dentist.
Did you test those ads because you're the dental guy?
Yeah, and now, so the maturity, like 9 years later, like I look back on my younger self, I'm like, you let your ego dictate strategic decisions.
Right.
Like it wasn't an either or proposition.
Right.
You know, and I think that's one of the conversations we have with ourselves. Like, well, do I do this or that? Well, one butt can't ride two horses, but two horses can be run on a track.
Yes.
You know, it's just where's your role?
You need more jockeys.
Yes, right. So this goes to the talk you did to my group today. That was amazing. Anyhow, so recently we did that, and we just ran some Facebook ads. The cost per lead was really high. The engagement was lower than I expected. That there's so many variables that go into that. But I will tell you that the Trade Magazine email drops, old school email drops, which is how I actually launched the supplement business after doing direct mail. We went right into email drops. It's still a very, it's an amazing, what everyone needs to know about email drops to newsletters and newsletter publications or highly targeted lists. It's still one of the fastest, quickest ways to test and get a lot of data very, very rapidly in a controlled space. Right. You know?
So if you're going to do that, what's the process? Google?
Yeah, it's really simple. Like, so one of two things. One is if I'm in the health space, all right, I know guys who are super successful who have email lists.
Let's say you don't know those guys.
Well, then I could post on Facebook saying, does anyone know anyone who has health lists that they'd rent for men 55 plus who are interested in heart?
Right.
And people will just show up.
Right.
But if you don't know that, then the other thing you do is maybe you go to Google. You start doing this basic level of research. These is basic level stuff. Like just ask Google. If you don't even know that, then you go to a seminar. You come to one of our events, like at O'Keefe Live. Like one of the things we do is we run health supplement, superfood, nutrition. We're the only company who does, or only seminar business that does this specifically for health, fitness, nutrition businesses and product businesses online. And you talk to the people around you and be like, hey, what do you do? Well, it's funny, you know, I run a newsletter, or I have an info product, or I do this. But even at like traffic and conversion, I think 40% of the people you meet there, every health expert's there. Yeah. And so the thing is,
or go to a health event, right? Like the Natural Food Summit or something like that.
Yeah. And you know, there is a specific system that you should do, or go to like Newsmax Health. I'm sorry, now I could be very specific. My brain's getting uncluttered. Like newsmaxhealth.com.
Great.
You contact them, you email the editorial, you go, hey, what would it cost for me to run an email drop? Well, what's your product about? Okay, do you have a list about, okay, we have a prostate list. Okay, that's usually men over the age of 50. Right? Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Today you could be anything you want. It might be, I'm not going to ruin your whole podcast, get you banned from Twitter by making bad jokes.
How do you identify not having prostate cancer?
Oh my gosh, you know. And then you get the rates. Then you say to them, no, I mean, do you have okay, so here's a systematic approach. Number one is you ask, hey, I need some rates. I'm a health marketer looking to promote a product. They're going to say, yeah, here's our rate. It's say $15 per 1,000 emails, and they're going to say, here's what 80,000 will cost you. You guys can do the math. That's probably like $9,600. Okay. And you say to them, hey, well, do you got any discounts for multi purchase drops? And they're going to say, well, our
meaning
fee,
more than one time.
More than one time.
Right.
And you say, okay, cool. Well, if you committed to 4, right? Your rate would be $7. So I just saved half. I'm making some of this up, but I'm not.
Yeah,
This is the system.
Those are real numbers. I mean, realish.
Or you have agency percentages.
Right.
And so then they can knock off 10, 20%. So, And then you say, what's your minimum amount I could drop to? Do you allow me to do split tests? Because you always want to split test the subject line. And if you can also split test the creative, that's 4 tests.
Right.
I got to, you want to mail at least 20,000, 30,000 names. And so
As
that's
your first
Yeah,
email.
I think so. If you're going to do a 4-way split test, you want
so 20,000 per control, basically.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great way to put it. And then you use unique links so that you can track back which one brought in the most amount of sales. And bam, you're off to the races and you got a business. And if you got good results, here's like the real secret thing, is if you have results that are within scoring distance, you should consider that a home run. Meaning,
what is scoring distance?
Scoring distance means that I need to be at a 1.3 return on ad spend to completely break even.
So if you spend $100, you need to get 130 to break even.
Thank you. Yes. After costs, goods sold, blah, blah, in a product business. Most people don't calculate this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you really want to be frugal, you say, well, I need to be at 1.5.
Right.
Okay, that's okay. But what's really powerful here is you're going to quickly see like where your gap in your whole game plan is. Is it the sales letter? Is it the amount of clicks, cost per click, all that fun stuff? But this is where the magic happens. Is you run that out, you start testing, you take the best parts of all of it, and you get better at that to the point where let's just pretend you did it through 4 newsletters and you broke even on all of them. So really, you're still a loser. You can't pay for anything for your wife or your kids. However, when you go to the first meeting and you run into the guy who has tens of millions of customers and is a super affiliate, and you're able to, when he says to you like, well, what's your offer and what's your data?
You got some.
And you can say like, well, our earnings per click at Newsmax Health is $1.20, and then we tested it with, Remedy Central. I'm making this up a little bit, or Easy Health Options, and it was $1.50. He's going to be like, really? Okay, give me your best creative, and I'll run it for you. And now you got a new best friend.
Right.
And now you totally segmented yourself away from being a taker to like somebody who's out hustling.
Of the people. Yeah.
You're out spending money.
Yeah.
You have customers. And then, so that's the system. And then you can use that same system across every platform.